Hey everyone, I've got Anastazja Kukalska. Is it Kukalska?
Yes, yeah, Gajkowska. Yeah, perfect.
Kukalska. And she is an entrepreneur, documentary producer, author, inspiring actress, and she has a foundation whose mission to empower survivors of abusive relationships through education, resources, and social change documentaries. So when I met Anastasia, she had great big goals, but she was struggling to let go of the past, which started when she was 2. And she knew that she had to, let go of many things and shift her self-image and identity in order to achieve the goals she wanted. So she joined Thinking the Results program, and amazing things happen. And here she is today. She's going to be sharing her experience through the program. She hasn't finished it yet. She's up, halfway. But a lot of things have happened. So I invited her to actually share her experiences. So thank you very much, Anastasia, for being here.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for coaching me and changing my life. Yes, my pleasure.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure working with you. I had so much fun.
Yeah, it's great to listen about yourself, great things. Like when somebody's talking about you, nice things, it feels good.
Yeah.
Because in the past, before I started the coaching with you, I actually didn't like to hear compliments about myself. I will reject that. I will feel uncomfortable because of I had the wrong self-image, right? I felt I don't deserve that compliment. I felt like I am the bad person or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we could go over it and share a bit of your story and how that came about. So yeah, tell us, just what are you doing and what projects you're working on, because you're working on some really exciting things.
Yeah. So a little bit about my story. I'm Polish and I live in California. I moved here 2 years ago. I came from a humble family, and one of my biggest events, which I interpreted in a wrong way, was when my dad committed suicide when I was 2 years old, and I developed this wrong belief and just feeling not enough, not good enough, and had abandon issue, right? Which I carry into my relationships with my mom and my brother, and then with partners. So I experience 3 narcissistic relationships where I carry that belief I'm not good enough, and repeating the same pattern until going through some therapies and psychologists, trying to understand why I attract people who first are great, right, and loving and caring, and after a while I discover they have another face, right, or that the intention were not right. So when I left that, my first actually abusive relationship, after 5 years of being in that relationship, in 2018, in December 8th, that was my, like a day when I chose myself for the first time. And I didn't feel ready at all. I just felt I couldn't take more. And I had angels and like somebody who helped me move out and found a house for me, which I feel like it was universe. And and that day I felt that I had that idea to create a video documentary where I could see another survivors or thrivers, I like to say, who went what I went through, what we all went through in that documentary. And there's a happy ending at the end, and they found and they changed that meaning, right, of those experiences. And yeah, so that was that idea felt in my heart as a purpose, like what that was the first seed. And from there, there was like court, and there was case in court about those abusive relationships, right? But the major point was when I left to United States to pursue filming and acting career. And yeah, so that was 2019, July, right, when I arrived to LA. And that was actually when, yeah, later on I met you. Also, I actually, before I met you, I've been in another 2 abusive relationships because of I didn't change my self-image, right? I still had this image, I'm not good enough. So I went for therapy, but it's still, I had troubles with keeping my boundaries, right? Because of I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel worthy of being treated right? So I used to be abused, and that's the image I had, right? So that was the subconscious mind, which was familiar with being disrespected and criticized and punished, right? Because that's what I learned as a child, love means. So I was attracted to people who basically would treat me bad because of I felt that gave me those high and lows, which I experienced as a child, also in the relationship with my parents, with my family, right? And on conscious level, I knew it is not right. I knew I don't want it, but subconsciously, I didn't change that belief, right? That I'm worthy of being treated well, or right? So I went so far with my story right now, but where I am right now, we are creating a foundation, which is helping survivors of narcissistic relationships with therapy and consultations with lawyers, creating documentaries. This is a first in a series of healing documentaries. And another thing is that we are creating ebook based on this documentary, gathering many stories, beautiful stories of survivors, together with lawyers and therapists. And also recently, as I started the coaching with you, I decided, with your belief in me, I decided to write my chapter in Intuitive Thinker Truth, which is going to be published in May this year. So yeah, next month. So, and that's a huge dream, my dream. And together also with that publisher, Bridget, we are working on Expose ebook. So it is amazing how we attracted each other and how it, I didn't imagine it will go so easily, right? I was thinking how, and I didn't, and I realized I don't need to worry about the how, right? That it is not about what I thought it, Yeah. So thank you so much for asking. That was a long response, but that's I got the end.
It's amazing. I love hearing about your story and all the things that you have, accomplished since,
and I actually forgot to mention, about getting my psychology degree, but that's probably part of my journey as well. And pursuing my acting career and getting recognized with my Polish accent.
That's amazing. You're doing, submitting auditions and enjoying that process as well. So you've achieved and accomplished so much, packed in so much during this short period of time. And so you mentioned that, you went through a lot of different, healing modalities and things like that. How did you find them? How did you, what do you think helped you? Did they help you, or you said that you still kind of felt as if you were just still trapped in that cycle of the same thinking?
Yeah, I will say that there is like at least 11 stages of healing, right? So there will be a first to feel safe, right, in your body, that you are okay to share things. And that's where my needs were met in the therapies.
Yeah.
Cognitive or behavioral therapies, where I could share all what I went through, without feeling judged. Even, well, I still felt judged because of, you know, I had this part of inner critic, right? Of thinking that people judge me. But I just felt validated, that my feelings were validated, right? So the therapy helped me to realize that I'm not, you know, that it is not rare what happened in my life, that there is millions of other people, that I'm not separated from that, right? That I, that actually, it helped me understand that we are part of something bigger, like that experience is part of something bigger. But at the same time, I felt there is a lot of lack when it comes to what's next. Like, okay, you feel safe, more or less, and where is the place for your, you know, dreams and goals? And it doesn't take you, you know, higher than just making you feel more safe in your body, and teaching you how to deal with triggers and relationship with yourself, right? Your inner child, and loving, finding compassion, which I still couldn't really find during that therapies, right? I still didn't get it until I started working with you more, because I understood that I can, you know, meditate and journal, but if I don't make myself feel special and do the things I want to do for fun, or, you know, buy myself a dress I want to buy, or go for, you know, these holidays I want to go, then it is still depriving myself, right? That joy, which I would give if I had a child or my best friend, right? But I will not give myself.
Yeah.
So I understood that. So then I tried another therapies, like tantra and sexual therapies, like to help me get back to my body because of the type of abuse I went through, right? And I felt more holistic way of healing for my body, and realizing that I have energies in my body, right? And trying Kundalini yoga, and also connecting with universe through those different points in my body, and also changing my beliefs around you know, yoga, because I grew up in Catholic family, and that was, you know, like a evil satanic way of, right? So I had to change that belief. I mean, allow myself to experience, right? So and also I what else? I tried also Tony Robbins, and what was that event? Unleash the Power Within, right? And the Inner Cycle, the 12 months with Tony Robbins, and the application of his events. And but still, I didn't see there enough I don't know, I just didn't probably snooze me. Okay, it was snooze. Right, so so, and to the point when I met with you, actually, before I met with you, there was another consultant, actually two of them, from Bob Proctor Institution. And but something in me didn't, I don't know, didn't vibrate. I didn't feel that that's the person I want to work with. You know, part of it maybe was my criticism, but also intuition. So, but at the same time, I was listening those 5 days event with Bob, and that seemed, yeah, that was something what made sense for me from the beginning. And I just wanted to know more, right? I was like feeling like, why I've never heard about that? It really makes sense, right? that I was used to believe that I'm stupid because of I didn't get the best marks in my school, right? And that's why I, don't have a business now. Is that is that the reason to realize?
Which one was that? Was it the 5-day challenge Bob did, or
Yeah,
was that my one? Which one was that?
both of them. I participate together, right? I
Paradigm
think
shift?
it was first yours, yeah, because I found Bob later a little that he has those events. Yeah, it was with you.
Paradigm shift. Was it Bob's one? Paradigm shift?
Uh,
Achievement.
5 days. I don't remember the name right now. 5 days event. Maybe it was paradigm shift. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, before that, I met. Yeah, I went for your event, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I did a 5-day manifestation challenge. Yeah. Yeah. So you tried a lot of things, and that's great to hear, because I know a lot of people have done so many different things and they're still searching. And what do you think really made you interested in thinking results? What was it about thinking results that you perhaps thought was able to give you the answers?
Yeah, right. And that's a great question. I think that truth that we are part of something bigger, and that we are spiritual beings, expression of God.
Yeah.
And that's something what vibrates with my soul. And I felt just limitless, that all the ideas I have in my mind, that they are not just fantasies, that I can make them happen, right? And that they were given to me for a purpose. And that's part of my journey to realize that I'm worthy of that, right? What made me to, I think also curiosity, because I've never heard so much about that, that content Bob is teaching and thinking to result is teaching. So I couldn't compare it with anything else. It was nothing like Tony Robbins. It was nothing like a therapy or psychology, which I was studying. So I was like, why I have, never heard about that before, really. I watched the movie, Secret, when I was 18, and I felt that this is magic, interesting. How it.
I think a lot of people watch that and they're thinking, it's like the mind blew up, kind of like, geez, it's like, where have I been?
Right. So yeah, so I wanted to wake up from somewhere from that dream, or just survival mode, right? And I realized that just because of I was unhappy with where I was, right? I didn't want that, and I didn't know yet what I wanted, right? But I think I was brave enough to just realize that even that regardless the fact that I don't know where I'm going, I still want to discover that, right? Because at the beginning I didn't know anything yet about the whole idea, and still I'm just starting create a new word.
That's great that you followed your, I guess you're learning to follow more of your intuition, following your heart and letting that guide you going forward. So did you I guess going through the process, did it meet your expectations, or did it probably beyond your expectations? What did you really learn, and how did you really shift? What do you think was the main thing that helped you to shift out of your your stuckness?
Right. So I think stop comparing myself, right? And looking outside of me through my, using only my senses to see to validate myself. I started to spend more time on sitting in silence, right? And so many breakthrough aha moments, right? When actually one of those moments were with you, when you helped me to realize the meaning I gave to my dad's death, right? And how that meaning that, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, how that belief created my 27 years of life, right? And that was okay. To you also, that coaching with you helped me to realize that that it happened for me, right? Because of now I get to share that, right? And that we always can, that is a muscle, right? That perception. And the more I go to the spiritual gym, the more
I love that.
yeah,
Exercise the mental faculties and mental muscles.
right, right. So that's the I think the biggest gift is that no matter of what's going to happen in my life, I always will be able to find a solution, because of I'm part of God, universe, and anytime I ask, I receive answer.
Yeah.
And that hunger in me, that to live and to find something more, explore more, I think will always help me be part of that another level of awakening and helping others in this to create that beautiful life. And yeah, and another things I learn, so many things I learned actually, right? I started to observe my thoughts, right? And I realized how I was distracting my day, my energy, my health by having negative visions about myself, about others, assuming that I know what they have in their mind, what they think, right? And then creating a lot of conflicts, right? And a lot of pain for me and others, right? And realizing that this is just, voice in my head, it is not who I am, and that I can change it, that I learned that through, as a child somewhere, through being criticized somewhere, and that I have the power to, as I can see those thoughts, to change them, right? And through the repetition to make them my garden.
Yeah.
And grow,
yeah.
right, yeah, and grow trees, and instead of those weeds and those insects and viruses, and right. So yeah, and I think that's another part which really helped me to be free. And what else? I think that my attitude, I realized that yeah, I had a very negative attitude toward money. I like feeling I don't deserve to have money or be in position of having my own business, right? Because no one in my family, like female, did in the past, or got a like a degree or any like certificate, important certificate. So I just had to realize that the place I was born is not the place where I'm going to die, right? Kind of like that there's some purpose. I was born there because now I get to share this with my family. But it doesn't, then it doesn't finish there, right? So so I started to challenge myself more with that attitude of making better questions, and actually realizing how questions are great, and that they allow me to learn more. And I started to see more things, like having more ideas, right? I opened a book where I write money making ideas, like different services or products which could make people's lives people's lives better, or my life better, right? And
yeah,
and then,
you've come up with a lot of amazing ideas, and you're starting to give yourself a lot of permission to explore the possibilities. Yeah.
well, thanks to your support and your belief, because I think at the beginning I didn't have faith, you know, because I had this attitude that failure means that I am failure, that failing means that I am a failure. So I just didn't believe, I stopped believing that I can be an Oscar winner, or that I can make my way of making documentary or acting in Hollywood, right? Because of I tried the hard way. I really tried hard. Okay, I did all what I could, and it didn't work. And I was feeling like as if I sell my soul. I felt like empty, and I felt broken. I felt, you know, like people said, maybe you should go back to Poland. And I knew I don't want to go. And I felt this is not, you know, this is how it looks like. But I didn't know yet what I will do, right? I just felt there was less light in me. And I think with those sessions, I realized how much having the right friends is important, and the right people to listen, because it does affects our decisions and how we spend time. So I was, where I was going with this was that I started to see failing as a way of learning, and that's creative way of learning, and allowing myself to fail and be okay with that without beating myself up, and just being excited to learn more and to be more skillful, or just to develop that muscle of not feeling, of feeling grateful for failing actually.
Yeah.
Right? And not making it good or bad. And the same with success, not making it good or bad, just be free from that kind of validation, right? So because at the end, that's what makes us happy, when we grow, and when we are free from anything like attachments, I think, right? That's what, that's what
I see
maybe
I see you come out of, like, you know, because I think you were very I guess, like, you know, uptight. You wanted things done.
tension. I was making my teeth, what's the name?
You're grinding your teeth, right?
Yeah.
You said that your dentist said that you're grinding it less, you know, after his coaching, and he was very surprised with that. And I guess that you know, this process has helped you to kind of let go. And because you were saying that you were very frustrated, you were tied up, you, like, if things didn't go a certain way, you get very frustrated, and it'll affect your temper.
Yes. And then I was also, it's kind of funny because I stopped like thinking how I was in the past, right? And it feels like it's true. Like, it's like, oh wow, how far I came.
Yeah,
because,
you don't remember that. It's like, was that me? It's like, I don't remember that. Was that me?
yeah, like I will spend, you know, I was actually to, you know, to say no to people in the past and feel okay with that. It will take me at least 2-3 days to just be okay with that, because I will feel guilt and shame.
Yeah.
I you know, disappoint that person, you know, that, and I just ruminating, like so waste my time on, not waste, but spend my time on overthinking. Maybe I should go back and say I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just, you know, just questioning my intuition, instead of using that energy and time to produce. I was just distracting myself, right, by not allowing myself to stick with the decision I took, and stop sabotaging myself, right?
So now you're able to make decisions much more quickly and let go, just move on, and this
right,
you can trust yourself that you've made.
So that's the process, right? But now it takes me maybe, you know, it depends, right? Because sometimes I have those days when I take a decision and just go with that, right? And other times I need like 1 hour thinking maybe, you know, if that was the right decision. But at the end, I just go back, okay, that's my paradigm, right? I kind of trying to see that if I continue, then I will, spend this, 3 days of overthinking, and where will that bring me, right? To see the result. If I continue thinking the way I used to, I just see at the beginning, okay, that's what's going to happen. If I don't feel that, stop it now. So, and that's what can happen if I use that out, that time for creating something what is on my list, right? Or just going for a walk maybe, right? Or having fun, or being with my boyfriend.
Let's talk about that, because you rescheduled, worked on your schedule, and you're able to put things in, activities and things. You allow yourself that permission to play as well and be productive in your work.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to drink a little water. Right. So that feels good, right? To be able to just be this little girl and allow myself to do what I want to do without thinking, oh, I should to create that time in my schedule where I'm just not doing anything more than just creating, but let's say going for 1 day hiking mountains, right? Or being surfing, or going for a massage, or talking with my family. Like last weekend, I was talking with my brother, my mom, and my grandpa, and that gave me a lot of joy. And or painting, I got myself a new paintings canvas. I'm going to be painting. I love painting. I used to paint a lot when I was younger. So just or making. I like acting and doing those self-tapes. It gives me a lot of joy. Like I do it for fun, and so that's why I do this even in my weekends. For fun, because of it just makes me happy. So,
and has that really changed the way that you've done your work? Like, has that changed the energy that you're in? Right. So that's it. It took that headache out from my head, right? Because of in the past I was just very anxious and tense in my body, and then beating up myself, or why I'm not getting results, studying let's say 10 hours and still couldn't focus, and just thinking about, just ruminating about stuff, right? Or and then feeling like, oh, maybe I'm stupid, right? Maybe that's why, right? So it just actually my best ideas are coming before I go to sleep, or when I'm about to fall asleep. I will have some idea, and I will have my journal next to bed, and I'm sometimes in the middle of night writing. So that's when my ideas are coming, when I'm not working. So well, that's great. Or just creating that beautiful morning when I'm waking up and going to the beach, and just going to the beach and screaming to the ocean my manifestations. And so that's something what helped me to just feel I feel grateful and happy right now. Right. And sometimes I feel like, well, if I'm happy right now, so why I'm doing what I'm doing? But then I want to create all what I imagine, right? That and see the impact of that in other lives, because I think that's also another part of the joy, right? That you're not just living that in your head, those what you imagine and feel, but you actually make it happen.
So there is a time for play, and then there is the time to make it happen, right? And so I feel that so I don't know if that answer.
How much play did you have before joining this program? I mean, did you have any of that before, or?
Well, it's kind of, you even see my face now when I'm thinking. I actually, it was never like purposeful, if that makes sense. It will be like always somebody idea, you know, like let's go for cinema or let's do that, right? It was never me like really, except going to nature, because I kind of used to organize time to, you know, to exercise somewhere in nature, right? But I feel that I kind of had this idea about game and playing like my mom a little bit, like you know, that you should be, you know, working even in your weekends. Like even now, my mom, when she has free time, she will be working, like doing something like painting the house or making some another things in the garden, or, you know, like and my mom thinks that's, you know, that makes her happy, and that's okay. But for me, I just was getting sick, I think, because I started to have just feeling more and more depressed, basically.
Right.
Without that.
So I was for fun. Just so what I get at is like at that moment, it's like you're doing it just for fun, for the pure joy of it.
Right. That's what I wanted to say, right? Because in the past it was I was more like a robot. So I will just work, and then I, you know, avoid to relax and just sleep, right? Basically, when I had I will go for some events, like, you know, like red carpet events, blah blah blah, but I will be always tense because I wanted to prove something and make connection and think, oh my god, I need to introduce myself to this person, blah blah blah, and not enjoy myself, right? Just go, you know, kind of overthinking and just being in the right place with the right people, but not with the right state of mind. And so, and that's why I didn't, you know, it's like going to Hawaii without with, you know, with this mind of I'm going to be angry and upset. You know, you can spend holidays in a beautiful place and still be unhappy, right? So I just it was, like you said, it was not purposeful, and now it just feels like expensive, right? To be able to plan it in my schedule is like, oh wow, I'm worthy of that, right? And that's for me like a mile step to realize that, you know, that's life, that's part of life, and I want it for others, for those I love, for my mom, for my friends, and for myself, right? So even when I still feel like, oh, I'd rather be working, you know, I could create this. I try to, if that's not the urgent thing, I just silence that voice, kind of, and because I know that voice comes from the past of just hard work, and just take a risk of playing more, right? But I need to admit that still I have those ideas that I should work more and, you know, harder. So it is not easy really when I'm somewhere in a restaurant with my partner eating out, and I'm thinking like, oh, I didn't do this, I should write this, right? Or we are somewhere, you know, in some kissing each other, and then I have some ideas what I should do, right? About, you know, it is like, wow, like be here now, right? And so
we're still in the process. Right. It's great that you have the awareness, but you know, it's great that I see you're always lighting up, and you know, so you have a beautiful smile, and it's great that, you know, you're becoming so much more aware. And you know, I think one of the biggest things you've got into is taking ownership of, yourself, right? Really knowing that, everything happens within you. Like it's starting with that inside, being consciously aware of your thoughts and everything like that. So the self-sabotage is like, not just so loud it stops you, but you're still forging ahead. And there's so many things that you've done creatively. I don't know how you get so many things done. It's amazing. So how would you describe your life now? I mean, how would you think, like, how you, what's life now really compared to before? I mean, what was the major shift?
Right. So for me, life now is a dance, or it is joy. It is being fully light and expression. Yeah, it is following my heart and trusting myself. It is turning inside and creating a lot of time in silence with myself and saying no for some people to have time for myself, choosing myself and feeling okay with that. And watching those ideas of guilt and shame, just observing and be okay with that. And connecting with the universe and expanding the goals, the ideas which I'm already now working on. And in the past, what life, and also serving others, and discovering the joy which gives giving back what I receive, right? And then imagine that I can do what you are doing with me, that I can do that with others and help them self-discover themselves and see that they are not their circumstances and that they can be free from that, and just realize there is, nothing special about me in doing that, and that anybody can have the same access and receive a better quality and of life and more joy and relaxation, right? So in the past, my life was I would think like disaster, like disorder, anxiety, and bad relationships, and about self-sacrifice, breaking my boundaries and self-abandonment, and kind of repeating the life of my dad somewhere, I think, right? And somewhere unconsciously, just dealing with kind of getting closer to my dad, right? Becoming a little like him, so I could feel that closeness, right? So for me, before, life meant suffering, really, right? That kind of thinking that we are here for a while, and because I believe in God, right? Like personally, right? I don't want to preach or anything like that, but I do believe there's life after. So I kind of had those ideas that, you are here for a while, and some suffering, physical, emotional, happens so you can become more like Jesus, right? Like that suffering is good, actually, right? From the point of Christianity, and I just felt close, if that makes sense. Each time when I had some breakdowns, I was praying to God, and I was feeling closer to God, right? And I felt that maybe that's, life it is about letting go of that physical. Sorry.
So you associated with, like, life was pain, life was suffering, and that was supposed to happen because that's what you saw with your dad. But then
Right.
you opted out of that to see that, you can choose joy.
Right. And the same way, my mom, until today, she's talking about how, she sacrificed herself and her life for God. And that's kind of, there are some ideas in Catholic Church about how you can sacrifice your suffering for the saving some souls in hell. That's totally different.
Yeah, like a
But
lot of warped beliefs about how we're like a martyr, like by was it paying the debts, like our sins, paying for our sins and sins of others. Yeah.
Right. So so that was a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
But that's where I was, and that's where that's where probably like I'm proud that I came from those really narrow thinking, because of I can understand why some people will never decide to, I don't know, go for some self-discovery projects, right? Because of the idea that that's evil, that it so I really think that in some point of my life I will be able also to help people who came from some places, little places in the world, and they knew that what they saw, it's not all what it is.
Yeah, just help them to, I guess, like wake up from that mental prison, the way that the world which they thought was only the world, to see more.
Right, that mental prison, right. Yeah, I like that book, As a Man Thinks, right. Viktor Franklin. Yeah. So life is everything. Now life is I hold my Oscar, but
Yeah, your Oscar. Yeah.
But it's just symbol of just that I'm just discovering what life is. All honestly, Melody. I kind of felt like I was sleeping for a while.
Yeah, I love how you said that. And you said something regarding like the Oscar is not the Oscar, but it is the growth, right?
Right, to feel worthy of my dream, not just my dreams, because of it is the same way the community we are creating, and people like you who are believing in me, without whom I couldn't be where I am, and that's just makes that life beautiful. I'm just grateful I could discover. I could.
It's okay.
I could experience that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we go through this a lot sometimes in sessions. When we have these emotions coming up, and it's okay. It's okay.
Right. Yeah, and that life is feeling, because in the past I was thinking my feelings are too much.
Yeah.
Right. And just feeling I am too much, I am too loud, or I shouldn't, that, just feeling that there is something wrong. And now I feel like my feelings are beautiful, and they're extension of me, and that's the way to connect with people, and that I don't need to hide my tears, right? And so
how's that relationship with your boyfriend been? How has that really changed your relationship with your boyfriend?
Wow, that's a good question. So I think it opened a lot of possibilities, and for both of us, and support and friendship from more. Like recently we had this situation with the spa, right? I share with you the swim spa. We received the swim spa which had some leaks, and my partner is like, oh no, I got cheated, and he's like feeling like I should trust what you said, and he's like, maybe you should help me make the decisions. And I say, we both were feeling that something wrong, right? And then we said, like, there is something great coming from this, right? And we are going to discover this. And then we put the music, like some funny music, like celebrate, and then we start to dance that there are leaks.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And just to feel that, we don't need to respond. We don't need to react to those situations, right? And that somebody, can take your money, can take your house, or can take your, whatever material thing you have, but they cannot take your joy. That you need to allow for that to happen, right? And that's the power you can own, right? That and I feel that's something what help both of us to be more open and appreciate each other, because of my partner share with me that my transformation helped him to find more motivation to be better person. And that's something what I didn't expect, right? And I was like feeling, is he really mean this? Right? But yeah, but he was like crying, and really I felt that it does help him. And I just realized he has a different image of me than I have of myself. Right? Because of he yeah, like I would like to see myself the way he see me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. He
Right?
sees you more. He believes and he trusts more in you than you actually believe in yourself.
Right, and that see good, more good in myself than I do see good in myself, right? And maybe the same about me and him, because I think that as I'm working on changing myself, I also started to celebrate him more and appreciate him and less criticize him before I try to more fix or change him a little, not really like consciously, right? But a little bit, and being a little, I think, passive aggressive sometimes. Yeah, at the beginning of my healing, right? And grumpy, like before my period. And now I feel that that I start to understand myself more, right? And I know that I need those days, I need more time for myself, and it's so I don't shift, look for that attention or just to calm down my nervous system so I can feel okay in him, right? And I think that also our idea of doing foundation came from expanding that vision and talking with different different people who are right now board members for the foundation, and also my partner. Well, it's funny, but no, I'm just thinking now because of we just started to talk like about our dreams and what if there was no any limits, like where would we like to live, and what would we like to do, right? And which places would we like to go, and just creating a list of that, and finding what really excites both of us, right? And then what? And then being okay if for example, when my mom didn't accept that relationship, right, because of my partner is a little older, and then becoming stronger regardless of how different situation can come, and being more open to talk about it, right, instead of thinking, oh, I know what that person thinks, right? So I think that book you share with me, Melody, the power of
awareness.
Yes, right. Yeah, that's really helped me a lot to understand that, yeah, we all have. Actually, my partner, his ideas, how he thinks, always surprise me. Like, I will never think the way he thinks. Like, I just, I am always like surprised the way how he does things. It's so much different that I would do or anybody I met in my life. So I'm like, wow, this is like, he's teaching me a lot because of he is more detail oriented here and now, and see things, observe when I'm like, where are we going? What's the next step? So for me, I started to see that at the beginning, that was a little triggering me, right? His presence and being very mindful and here now. And now I changed that, learn from him more. And I think that become more attractive and sexually attractive and, spiritually attractive for me as I grew and became more confident and not like so much insecure or jealous, right? Or comparing myself with another woman's, right? And so I think our friendship became stronger. And yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah. What do you think is which key lesson do you think really enjoyed? Because you're up to only the lesson 6 now, which is self-image, and you haven't even got into that yet, but you've already shifted your self-image so much.
So say again, which lesson?
Yeah, which lesson really gave you like the biggest shift, or your favorite lesson? Like you've only done halfway.
I think the lesson number 4.
Yeah.
The genius. What's the name? I forgot now.
Secret Genie.
Secret Genie. Yes, that's where I had the aha moment, and I was like, Melody, I was sleeping.
It's like drawing the diagram out, and it's like
I paint that guy, that stick person with the. You remember?
Yes, like the big body.
I was like,
I've seen it 1,000 times, and like, geez.
Yes, and then I paint again, okay, after the lesson with you, and I still did. I had to really purposely I made it still big. I couldn't make it small. Like I had to start with the head first. No, separate. I started with the body first.
Yeah.
So I could make the head bigger.
Isn't that funny how you can learn so much, you can study so much, and yet it's not, you can't, it's the application of it. Then you start to become aware, oh, okay, this is what
right. Yeah, it's like we are ready from the moment we are born, and then we are just listening that how much we are not. So we start to believe, and one day you wake up and you realize that you can wash away those, not untruth, and realize that what you got is enough, right? And it sounds naive, but it's not really. Because of that's it sounds so simple, and I think it really is simple. Right? Like but then you have those subjects of fear, but then the fear, there is some positive side of fear too, because it challenges us, right? It means that it is like growing, like extending us, right? So expanding. Right. So I think that lesson number 4 really helped me to realize that there is much more of me which I met yet to come and discover, and to realize that I'm part of you and everybody around, that we are all the same, connected, and that we are on different parts in our journey, and that with my experience I can also help somebody who was where I was a year ago, maybe, or 2 years ago, that there is abundance, and and that everything, we are all energy, and that my relationship with money is different now too, and so that also helped a lot.
I'm like so fascinated, just hearing your story and everything, and it gives me so much pleasure to be working with you.
Thank you, Melody. I think you're a champion, and that's also, I mean, why I decided to work with you. It was part of, like, you mentioned my intuition, And I felt that I didn't know what it was. It was just that little silent voice in my heart. I think your attitude and your being very friendly, you're a very friendly person. Like when I first met with you, I met you on that summit, and I mentioned something about my green visa, my what's the name, my citizenship, working permission, and you are like, hey, let me know when you will receive it. I will celebrate with you, or something like that. And you know what? Nobody ever said that before to me, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I had, friends like this more. Somebody who believes in your dreams, right? I just felt like, I even said that day, my partner was next by, and I said to him about you. I said like, this is so cool, and she's in Sydney, I mean in Australia, and I'm here, and that's so amazing how we can talk through that, computer. And
wow. Yeah.
and then being on your workshops, I just saw how much heart you put, how you are passionate about what you are talking about, and how your story, like listening to your story and how it transformed you. I felt that I could relate with that part of, with that part of being like having a lot of house in the past, right? And I just felt that maybe, yeah, I could do it too, right? I had that, I kind of borrow your faith, like as you were talking those seminars, that anybody can, change those beliefs, and I, so I think
you've come so far. You've recreated yourself completely. It is, it's I love it when I get these testimonials where people like, I've done this, I've gone in and do this, and all these things have happened, and I feel so, I'm so happy.
Well, I want to say also thank you to you from my mom and my brother, because of that also. I think working with you helped me to reconnect with my mom, and even she doesn't accept some parts of my life. We reconnected from the place of that I was able to share what was important for me, and stop hiding things like as I used to in the past. And last Sunday I had a great conversation. I mean, good conversation with my brother. It took like 2 hours. It was like, and I almost lost voice, I think, because of it was funny because of, I think, as I am healing, as he's healing, right? In his healing, I'm also healing. It's kind of connected, like when your family, right, when they are healing, how it heals you.
Yes.
But the moment I started to talk with him and I look at his eyes, I just felt that I'm ready to share with him something, and I just felt happiness. That at the beginning of the conversation, I kind of felt that because we haven't been talking on the video for like a few months at least, because mostly we are sending like audio or messaging, right? And I was avoiding this because of I just in the past had didn't know how to set up my boundaries, and I was being defensive many times after being abused, like verbally or physically, and then I just kind of found a way of me moving to different country as a way of protecting myself, right? If that makes sense, right? And kind of not keeping in touch really, right? On the deep sense, right? On the real, authentic, what's really happening in our lives. So I think as he went through a journey, he had some addiction problems and his mental issues. We got to the point that we both are like settle more, like at least have the time and space to talk. And I think that's a great start. So I'm excited.
That's great to hear. That's definitely showing your growth. And
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's something what I'm proud of, actually. That's something what I do feel joy. Like that's better than Oscar. I mean, when it happens to, I mean, not Oscar, but it's kind of the idea that when you help somebody, it is just this kind of, and you love them, right? That's you feel that your life has a purpose. I mean, I feel like my life has more purpose the more people I help, and I have those, you know, I look at the left because I have my vision board here, but they're just a representation of of the journey.
Yeah, wow, that's so beautiful to hear, because like, I think that's one of the biggest, beauties of working with this material. It's not just only, helping me with, building a coaching business, but, with working with the relationships with my family, my daughter, and, and bringing everybody together again. And I really think that, that's so beautiful to be able to reconnect with your family. And same, like, family means everything to me. It's a precious thing for me.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful. I mean, thank you for sharing that with me, because it means we are all the same, like you mentioned, like we have the same needs, right? To love and receive love, right? And so simple. But I mean, and it is funny because of that. I mean, I said funny because of the reason why I studied psychology. It was because to help my family, my mom and my brother, right? And it was funny because of during that course, I've never got to the point when I could use anything really in my personal growth, right? It was discovering that what I had in my mind about what psychology is not what it really is for psychology, right? Yeah. I thought it's about change and why we do what we do and why we don't do what we want to do, and why there's so many why we are so complicated, right? And during my 10 years of studying, I've never discovered that through those different approaches really, which made sense for me. And now with Bob, it does make sense for me with that program, right? So I think that I'm thinking about creating another part of psychology.
I mean, that's a fascinating. Even Bob said, like, he's talked to people who've been studying
psychologists and therapists and
therapists, and he explains how the mind works and human potential, human behavior, and they're shocked, and they says, well, you never studied psychology, how come you know so much? And that's what's fascinated me, and as well, I credit everything like I've learned, with Bob and all these other great mentors as well, because it's helped me to understand not only myself, but understand other people, why they're way that they are. As you rightly say, everything comes back to when you were a child and you make up stories, and everybody has a story. Your mom has a story, your dad had a story, your brother has a story, and now you're understanding that, you're able to help them to and be compassionate with them and align themselves with, okay, this is where they're coming from, this is their story, so this is how I help them to come out. And you're not judging, or you're not overlaying anything which is part of your guilt and stuff, but that they are sitting in their own story, right? It's not to do with you or anything like that, but it's their own story. Right. So that's beautiful. You've grown so much, Yumi. You've grown so much because of that, and it shows definitely that you've become so much more stronger, to be able to be able to commute and talk to them, and definitely reconnect that.
Yeah,
so so much beauty in that. You are.
Thank you. Thank you from all the Polish people and Ukrainian people, as I am half Ukrainian as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
my grandma, she was born in Ukraine.
Okay. Yeah.
well, I'm very grateful because of, yeah, you made my dream come true, which is bringing the faith back. So yeah, and just like a seed, it's growing, and the more fruits it's giving, you know, the more, yeah, I let the light go in, and just opening myself for you, for people like you who are speaking, and then, yeah, sorry, I went too far. But
Great.
yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing this, all your story. And you know, you are such a beautiful soul. You got such a big, you know, life mission. And I know that, you know, you were definitely going to be inspiring so many women, so many people, you know, from your country, and for everybody that's, you know, following you for the documentary and your book. So I know there's going to be so much success coming your way. Last words, what do you say to someone who's thinking about doing thinking results or even considering about it?
What I would say is listen to your intuition, and if you don't know what to do, yeah, like separate yourself for a while from the social media, and, you know, go to nature, some quiet place where you can be alone, and put your hands on your heart and breathe and say a prayer. God, universe, I don't know if you exist. If you do, that's great. Speak through me. I'll help me to hear that voice in my heart now. Or yeah, or maybe if you are not a spiritual person, or you don't see yourself this way, then maybe journal and allow yourself to be writing without questioning what you're writing, and see what comes there. Because our subconscious mind sometimes wants to say something to us, right? And so yes, and believe that, and don't question what comes to you, right? Because of don't validate if that's good or bad, where this is coming from, like why I should listen to that, because that's the ego voice is always louder, and it is kind of demanding, and then the intuition is intuition is warm, and it's and just like a wind, it comes and it's very gentle, and it comes to us different ways. And so yeah, I feel like there is a better life that you experience, and you are worthy of that, and you are worthy of giving yourself that chance to use this opportunity, which gives you this course, to give yourself that second chance, and allow yourself to believe that that's possible for you, because you are worthy of that.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and also thank you for anybody who want to work with Melody. I want to say that Melody, it's so loving and caring, and just giving all her experiences and knowledge, and very amazing perspectives and questions, which I will be not able to do. Just, you know, let's say I do the course myself alone with somebody else. I think that your ideas of questions are always challenging me so much, and I always wait for the day of our coaching, because of and it's kind of like stressed a little bit because you challenge me. You know, I think that you help me to realize that, accept myself who I am, and be without judging, and then realize that I can be more like you by thinking. And then thinking and attracting surrounding myself with people who are where I want to be, right? And so thank you so much, Melody, for all what you are doing, and thank you for all the extra hours and time of giving your love and your generosity. And I really do see that and appreciate that, and I would love to stay more than just for this program with you. I don't know what's next, but I would like to be part of that too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you, and you know, we've had so much fun together, and you know, it's been such a pleasure. So
thank you, Melody.
And we did only halfway, and you know, that's the amazing thing. There's so much more quantum leaps coming your way.
Yeah, I'm excited, and yeah, and thank you so much for this possibility and this testimonial, because I think it's great to just listen, to see that perspective, and then feel good with your compliments, right? As you were speaking, it is like, is that me? Like, I have this voice. Is she talking about me?
You should ask your partner more about, like, you know, so paint me a picture of what you see in me, like, you know, and give it, you know, vivid as possible. And, you know, you both do that together and share that. And that would be such an amazing experience. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love that, because he paints too. So yes. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would be amazing. There you go. Paint your self-image, and this is what he sees, and you can, you know, share that. And I look forward to seeing your paintings. I actually, did you tell me you were painting? I didn't really know. So yeah, I'm seeing your partner as well. I haven't met him yet, but you know, he sounds like such an amazing individual. Yeah, such an amazing man.
Yes, well, the more I'm in this program, the more I see that all what I needed in a partner, there is in, I found it in David. Yeah, so that's something what helped me to realize that that's the man of my life. So I'm grateful, and yeah, thank you so much, Melody, and I'm looking forward to meet you also in person.
Yes,
be our or here. Yeah, if you travel to California, I would love to have you here, and your family, Richard.
Yeah.
Well,
we okay. We'll make some time, or otherwise we'll have to organize some sort of retreat. I'm working on that.
Right, so, retreats. Yeah. Yes, I love that idea. Yeah, we'll be all right. So thank you so much, Melody, and we see each other tomorrow probably. Yes.